Hello there, Ruby Retrograde Tarot and Tay here, and what I'll be filming and showing you guys today is a VR, a video response that I thought was interesting, and in a sense, I don't know if I don't know what's the word to say it. My collection is adequate for it, but I decided to go for it because I thought watching all the other YouTubers VRs were so cool, and some of their decks matched some of what I had, so it gave me a bit more confidence that I could do this VR, if that makes sense. So basically, this is the top 10 curiosity deck. It's a VR on what decks would you have in a curio cabinet, a curiosity cabinet, if you had one. And like I was looking at my collection. Sorry, I'm losing words here. After actually watching Candy Soul and Soil's video, I think it was started by Candy, and she had really cool decks, and also her voice was it's so soothing. Every time I listen one of her videos, no matter what I do, it kind of just puts me in a chill mood. She has one of those voices where it's just so soothing and it just calms me down. And even if I happen to be exercising and I happen to be watching one of Candy's videos, I find myself kind of slowing down. And I have to remind myself that I'm actually listening to a video while I'm exercising, so I should be picking up the pace. But in any case, just her choices, her decks were so cool and interesting. Some of them are decks that are not necessarily ones that that I don't have in my collection, because they're not ones that I'm attracted to, which, you know, you can't have everything, or you can't like everyone. And just watching other creators' videos, I thought it was so cool. And that's where I was interested to see if there were things I would put in my curio cabinet. But like I mentioned earlier, I kind of felt like maybe I couldn't, because my decks are mainly maybe artfully beautiful, and of course beautiful is relative to the person, or cutesy. I have a good handful of decks that are more mainstream. And so while looking at everyone's VR, I kind of thought to myself, well, okay, think of it not necessarily as a curio cabinet where you have all the weird and the strange and things like that. What about kind of when I was growing up, and my mom and my aunt and, you know, other people in my family, they had it wasn't a curio cabinet, it was the buffet. So, or like the dish buffet. I like, if you know, you know, it's that buffet. You know, it's glassed usually it's glass on 3 sides, very beautiful solid wood, and it's usually there that your mom or your aunt puts the really pretty fancy china for special occasions. And then sometimes there'll be pictures of you when you're a kid or a baby. There'll be that one bottle of champagne from when you were baptized or when you were born. Or, you know, those Olympic glasses from back in the day. If you know those Olympic glasses I'm talking about, they were the ones from oh, where was it? I think the Alberta Olympics. You know, there's those glasses, the wine glasses, the nice bibelot. I don't know what bibelot is in English, like the little porcelain figurines or things like that. So I kind of decided to think of it like this, because I don't personally have decks that well, at least I think that I don't have decks that are, you know, weird and maybe unsettling. I mean, some entries that I saw, I forgot which deck, I forgot who featured it on their video, but the Carte de Visite by Patrick Valenza, oh my goodness, even just looking at the cards gave gave me the creeps. I was like, oh no, there is no way I could ever have this deck, because I would so feel like spirits are coming to me or something. I don't know. But yeah, so back to this whole setup. Yeah, so I decided to say, okay, well, in my cabinet, it might be curious, but not necessarily because it's strange or weird, but maybe more because it's older things, antique things, what I would consider as more unique. And of course, you know, looking through my collection, I do have some decks that are curious, and I'm sure once I show you the cards or the decks, you'll see some of them have been shown in other creators' videos. So, you know, it kind of overlaps. Yeah, that's the word. But anyway, so in my mind's eye, my cabinet, my curious cabinet, would have, of course, crystals. So here you can see my array of crystals. You've probably seen some of those crystals in past of my videos. So, you know, I would have, I think that's celestite, if I'm not mistaken. I would have my towers over here. That's an oral quartz, if I'm not mistaken. Here is a pink opal tower. I would have my crystal collection for sure. So in fact, if I ever have the chance to have either a bigger space, well, yeah, I would need a bigger space, but a bigger space in one of those buffet cabinets, I would totally do that. I would put my crystals there, and then I would have my decks kind of all over the place there too. In any case, so I'm thinking on one shelf of that curio cabinet of mine, I would have my old decks. So either old because I've had them for a long time, or old because of the time period. So for example, I would have this Marseille deck. So it's a tarot classic. You can even see still the price tag here. And the reason why I would have this one, which is a Marseille deck, it's based on the 18th century woodcut by Claude Burdel. And the reason why this would be in my curiosity cabinet deck is because this is the very first deck I ever bought. And so at this point in time, let's see, let me count real quickly. It's at least 10 years, if not, yeah, 10, maybe close to 15 almost at this point in time. It's a Marseille deck. It was when I was a teenager. Me and my friend decided I don't even know how we decided to get into tarot or things like that. I'm pretty sure it was following us watching The Craft. If you know The Craft with Neve Campbell. There's also the creator of, oh, what's the name of that tarot deck now? True? Rachel True is her name. And the deck is the True Tarot or something like that. The True Intuitive deck. I'll write it down somewhere. But in any case, that movie, and I think after that we kind of started dabbling in white magic and tarot. Although at first I think we started off at first. It was, we watched that, and then I think maybe we kind of went through palm reading, and then card reading, but cartomancy, so with playing cards, and then got to, did I say white magic? But white magic was in there, and then tarot. So I've had that, and this is where I learned that first. I had bought this in a used bookstore it's in my neighborhood, like not necessarily in my neighborhood. I had to like take the bus and stuff like that, but I saw that and I thought it looked pretty cool. I decided to buy that one. At that time there wasn't, why is it all over the place like this? At the time there wasn't you know, super variety, especially here. Ryder Waite Smith I don't know. I had never heard of Ryder Smith. I just knew of Marseille. So I got that, and then I had gotten a book also that explained how to read Marseille. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy, but for some, I guess I had decided to shuffle this reverse and things like that. But yeah, so this was my first deck. It came through me, it came with me, sorry, through many moves, through more religious time in my life. It was kind of, it was kind of forgotten. It was packed away. Then I kind of got back to it and I found it again. And yeah, this is definitely the first and oldest that I have. This is the Tarot Classic, and I believe it's by US Games, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it is US Game. And apparently it's a 1974 production. And the box managed to hold up. So that is part of that first shelf. I think it would be top shelf. A bit kind of like in a bar, you know, when you go to the bar or the club, there's top shelf drinks, and then, you know, this would be top shelf because it's older. And all these decks, they're not necessarily in order, but yeah, in order of shelves, we'll say it that way. Another one that I will put in my old, although I got this one more recently. I hope you can appreciate the packaging. Is the classic Ryder Smith. I think it was called the Ryder Tarot deck. Again, this one was published by US Games. I'm not too sure what year this thing was published. It's probably written somewhere. Oh, there, 1971. So, as you can see, this is the state of the cards. I got this used. I bought it at an auction, actually. This was I think this was, I will say, the first deck I bought when I more seriously got back into tarot, because in between my first deck, which was the Marseille, and this one, I got some other deck, like I got other decks here and there, but my studying of it or practicing was very sporadic. It's not the way that it is now, where I'm, I didn't used to do daily draws or anything like that. I guess it was more insular. I didn't necessarily think to look online for tarot groups or things like that. It was just kind of me and my going with books. Maybe sometimes I would search online later on, not at first, because back then it was, yeah. Anyways. So this is another one of where I would put in my oldest or top shelf. Let's call it top shelf decks, because yes, it's not, the very first printing of it, but to me, because of how I got it and just the way it looks old. Maybe not necessarily antique, but it's one of those things where you're like, oh, this deck looks old. I wonder what kind of history it has. And even when I first got it, this is probably one of the decks that I enjoy shuffling the most. I don't know if it's because it was broken in by the previous person, but it feels well used. It feels, I don't know, so well broken in. And of course, it's Ryder Smith. It's I guess the root, you can say, of the many wonderful, colorful decks that we have now. So I had also bought it because when I wanted to it was actually, no, it wasn't necessarily a restudy, but it was kind of like a study, because up until that point I was more Marseille and I knew very, very little about Ryder Smith. So by the time I got this, which was, I want to say, a couple years ago, so maybe 2020, something like that. And then I figured, you know what, let me just get a classic which is gonna make it easy for me when I'm reading books and they keep on showing, you know, Rider Waite Smith here, and I have, I don't know, another deck beside me. I have Revelations Tarot, which definitely does not look like, you know, classic here. So this is what would be beside my Marseille Tarot Classic, the Ryder Tarot deck, which is what it's called, which was made by or produced or published by US Games. So let's put it back in the plastic bag. I probably, you know what, I probably should or could put, you know, find a bag or something for it, but I don't know, there's something about keeping it in the plastic bag. I'm kind of liking it. Also in my old shelf, my top shelves, I would have, well, actually, let's go with this one. Grand Eteia or Tarot Égyptien. So this is the Eteia. I can't really call it tarot, but it's the Eteia card. That was the system created by Eteia, or the guy's name was like Jean Aliette or something like that. This one is published by Grimaud. I do believe you can still get this deck, although for some reason, I seem to remember people saying that you can't find it anymore, but I don't know. I've seen it pop up from time to time on, you know, Facebook Marketplace, or, you know, wherever, like secondhand sites. So this one was given to me, actually. It was given to me by my ex. I mean, if y'all, not that it's necessary to know, but whatever. And I thought this was kind of interesting. At first, when I first got it, I thought that it was, I guess more Marseille. Yeah, I thought at first that it was Marseille, because when I looked through the cards at first, you know, I would see just the 3 swords here, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's Marseille, and they're giving you keywords, which to me kind of felt similar to Marseille. But then looking at the little booklet here, I quickly found out that it was not that. It was something totally different. And even, you know, the example of spreads you can do, I mean, some are like intense. Like this is what, a 24-25 card spread. You have one that's like Jacob's Ladder or something, or another. Yeah, Jacob's Ladder, which is 21 cards over here, and the columns over there. And even when you read on instructions, well, the 3 steps here, I've done that spread maybe twice or 3 times. It's pretty, to me, it's intense. And even that square one here. And, you know, they explain to you how to shuffle, and you have to draw every 7th card. And depending, you know, what card is beside, to the left or the right, it means one thing. If it's specific cards that are beside each other, it might mean one thing. If it's upside, if that one card is upside, it means one thing. If it's reversed, it means one thing. If there's certain cards specifically, it'll mean something else. If, you know, a certain, like a couple possible choices that are beside them, and I think beside is like either left or right, then, or like adjacent, well, kitty corner, is that what it is? Kitty corner. Then it'll mean something else. And it at the time, it felt complicated, and so I tried learning. It did not stick, and I should give it a chance again. I've seen people read it a bit differently. Not necessarily with the whole 20 some odd, card spread, just 3 cards and kind of reading like that. And if I could, I guess, pick their brains, maybe that'll help me to not feel so daunted, or afraid of the system. But otherwise, like, I like the oldness of the art, the pictures. I as much as I like, cutesy, bright colors, moderny decks, I do enjoy vintagey, old looked like older art style of cards and decks. And so that's why this one would be on that top shelf, because in my head, the way I see that top shelf, you would have the, I guess, the forefathers, if I can call it that, the forefathers of card reading. Well, it's not, yeah, of card reading, or divination by card reading, the way that we see it. So, you know, and plus these are just 3, but I have another one that I would add, but in terms of system. So now I had the Marseille, the Ryder with Smith, and Grand Eteya covered. Another one that I would put on that top shelf, this is the I Naibi di Giovanni Vacchetta. This is by Il Meneghello Publishing. I got this more recently, and once again, the reason why I got this is because, again, it's a reproduction of, oh, I forgot which century, but 1893. Thank you. So it's a reproduction of 1893 cards. And once again, just something about the images, those old-timey images are just really cool. And on top of that, it's Italian, so it's Italian, I believe it's more of the Italian branch of card reading. And it was, I believe, if I remember the story correctly, behind this, these cards were commissioned by the family, by which family again? For the Vacchetta family. Or I think, no, I think Giovanni Vacchetta was the guy who made those cards for another family. I'll have to double check. I probably should have actually checked that before turning on my camera, but I wanted to go ahead and make this video before I forgot, or before, you know, I became too busy and I would end up pushing this video for yet another week. But in case, yeah. So this, the particularity of this is made on, not on any sort of card stock, the way more modern cards are made. This feels like just strong cardboard. So this is definitely the type of deck that you don't want to riffle shuffle at all, unless it just folds on you. And this, it wasn't like, it wasn't, well, okay, it was a good amount of money. I wouldn't say that it was super extra expensive, but you know, if you spend more than 40-50 bucks on a deck, and especially if it's hand reproduced, you kind of want to put some respect on it, if that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, the vintagey look. I think in the listing they were saying that this was one of the first decks with actual illustrations for the miners. And I know there's something about the people's expressions, and it's just, I don't know, I find it interesting. I like it. So here, this is the Queen of Pentacles. And so here, you know, you can see that it's illustrated, but still, you still have the pippishness to it. But here, for example, the Two of Wands, this is like a full illustration. And so yeah, the imagery mainly charmed me, and I feel this would fit right in with the others on the top shelf, solely by, you know, how old, not the cards themselves are, but the images are, what it's based on. The fact that this is the back of the cards. To me, looking at it, it almost feels like this paper was they took the back of the card, and I don't know, maybe they had like a press or something to like stamp the back art on it. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing. It just seems like they had a huge stamp and they just stamped the big sheets of paper or cardboard. And so let me just, yeah. So this is it. I guess I don't have to go through all of the cards all the time. I do believe I did a walkthrough of this one when I got it. So, and I think, oh, and even there, see, yeah, they even leave you a little leaflet about how it's created by hand. And so if there's what one would consider defects, they don't see it as such because it's handmade. So the Inaibi di Giovanni Vacchetta. So these, just to sum up, would be in my top shelf curiosity cabinet. Subtitle, the oldies, or top shelf, you know, or the forefathers. So, you know, you have the Marseille, Ryder Smith, Grand Eteia, and the Vacchetta, or Inaibi. Okay, so after that, I would have another shelf in my mind's eye, still with pretty rocks and shiny rocks. And these would be definitely more modern and more recent. Let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think, what do I want to start with? These would be in the section of the more modern, and they would be in the cabinet because well, of course, I found them curious. They kind of curious in the sense that it was an unlikely partnership. Can I say that? Unlikely partnership. It's the kind of decks where, oh, I didn't think that would be your style, but you know, okay, I can kind of go for it. I'm trying to find a word for it, but I'm gonna start with the Untamed Mystery Tarot. I want to go with this one because this was created by I believe it's called the produced by Wheel of Fortune Tarot. Yeah, it was produced by Wheel of Fortune Tarot. This was a Kickstarter from last year, I want to say. Yeah, I think it was from last year. And the particularity of that one, why I like it so much. Oh my, well, okay, so as you can see, hold on. They are plastic cards. Just plastic. Now let me just get all these cards together. And that is why they just slip so easily out of your hands. Now, I will say, I do have a walkthrough of this deck. And I will say if things like eyeballs and if I forgot what's the scientific term for it. Trachophobia or something. Sorry, I'm forgetting words today. I would suggest maybe you avert your eyes or just skip forward. So this is the back of the cards. And each minor, like we're going through the minors, but each minor have kind of a different animal representative. Now, of course, the little downside is that you don't see as much the name of the cards. I kind of have to go through the sun so you can see it. But all of these cards are plastic, which means that if there happens to be any sort of water spill while you're shuffling, it's okay. It's not going to absorb any water. 2, the shuffling, you can shuffle as crazy as you want. You can, you know, ruffle, shuffle, do a super bridge, almost, you know, almost put them on instead of a U, you could almost fold them into a V, and, you know, they snap back. So this is definitely one of the best cards for me ever. And except for the fact that they are so easily slippery if you're not careful. But like I mentioned, it's this world and this odd style that kind of makes you, I don't know, it makes you think of like this weird dark forest with you know, you see a tree and it seems like it starts moving and talking, and then you blink your eyes or you do a double take, and nope, it's just this old tree in a, you know, dark, foggy, hazy forest type thing. You have these plants that when they blossom, there are eyes kind of watching what's happening. The fish is for the miners of cups. Rabbits are wands. Horses are pentacles, and I'm missing the other ones. Oh yeah, swords are is an eagle, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so this is what I would be, this funky world. It's a curious thing. First off, it's curious because it's plastic. Then, you know, you have these scenes that kind of have you scratching your head and wonder what is going on. If I remember correctly, in the handbook, they do talk about what's going on a little bit. It's been a while since I read it. I would have to double check. And then, oh, so this was on top of the card, so it has a little quote, so I'll just put that aside. It's not part of the cards, but yeah, but somehow I like it, and I know there's not enough time in the day for me to want to explore all of it, but I want to explore it, kind of see what kind of journey I can go with that deck. So this is Untamed Mystery by Wheel of Fortune Tarot. Let's put this aside. Now the next one, I got the other two, yeah, I got semi recently, I would say, yeah, this year, and then this one I got last year at a Kickstarter. This is the Cosmo Vision Oracle by James R. Eade. It's an indie deck. This was on Kickstarter, like I mentioned, last year. Yeah, last year at definitely, or like either beginning of last year or end of the year before. This is a 78 card oracle that kind of rethinks and I just want to show the box. It has like this hollow applique that's really pretty and nice. And so these cards are an oracle, but they were kind of also modeled after tarot, except that the orders are rearranged. So with the majors, the order was, it was kind of rethought. So instead of having 0 to full, it's kind of, you start with death. Death is the start of everything. And as you go through, you kind of meet these animals, personages, things that kind of have you grow into and becoming the person that you are. I'm trying to explain it. But I really like the illustration. There's something about it, once again, that to me had me go, this is odd, this is curious, but I like it. This kind of is fascinating or wondrous. And so that's why I would put it in my cabinet, just because of the questions that it brought in me and things like that, where I just want to stare at it for, you know, moments and kind of absorb it. Now, if we go over to the minors, I think we'll be going to the minors soon. And so this is here at the end of the majors, where it's life on earth. So you kind of go from spark to soul to person. And this is the special card. And so if we go with the minors, just like the previous light vision, prisma vision, so each of the minors put together form a tapestry for each suit. And so I find that so cool. This was I think at the time, this was the first time I had seen something like that. So that was another reason why it piqued my curiosity and why I think I would add it in my cabinet. Now, since then, I did get the mini visions, the mini light and the mini prisma. So I think I would add those to my cabinet, maybe as kind of a family type of thing. But I just find the images are so, they just make you want to look and stop and think like this. It's so pretty. So Cosmo Visions, and also the guidebook also is very explanatory. It explains pretty well the cards, and also if you buy the big guidebook, it's even more detailed. So yeah, so let me see. Sorry, I'm having a pause because I'm trying to figure out which card I want to do next, which deck I want to do next after Cosmo Visions. So let's see what will be next. Okay, there was a little pause because I realized that I was about to run out of batteries and I had to go fetch the guidebook for this next deck because I realized I didn't have it beside me. The next one is also a Kickstarter, but this one I got from somebody who was passing it along. They, you know, they didn't like it as much, or it just didn't click in the end. And that deck is the L'Œil de l'Âme Tarot, which was created by Charlotte Mouy. This was a Kickstarter back in 2021, so last year. And so yes, and it's kind of funny because at the time when that Kickstarter was there, I was kind of wiffly waffly. I wasn't sure whether I wanted it or not, and then I ended up kind of just whatever. So then when this person was like, yeah, I'm getting, you know, I'm purging my collection, there's tons of decks that just don't mesh with me anymore, and then there was this one. I was like, huh, well, I'll grab it, and I was able to get it for a good price. And I mean, I don't have to get it shipped from Singapore, which would have been very pricey here. In any case, so this the reason why this would be in the curio cabinet is definitely the art style. So this is the back of the card, which is similar to the front box. It has pretty edges here. So the art style, it's so it's out there. I would say out there, kind of like Cosmo Vision, but it's, you know, you have these characters. I mean, they kind of look very different from one to the other. Here you have this person with an octopus on their head, and you have these different figures with, you know, 3 eyes, but it has this soft color to it. And in the guidebook, which it's a bit too bad, like I really like how it was binded, but it's so big it does not fit in the box, so you have to be sure to always have it beside. But I wish it could fit in the box, but it's okay. So in the book, Charlotte explains how you know, her inspiration and how they went about doing the deck. And in the guidebook, she explains that you'll find, you know, people-y looking people and you know, pudgy clowns or whatever, or something, or other characters that look more vaguely human. So here you're gonna have like more pudgy clowns, and then here this is Fortune. I kind of like that image there. And here you're gonna have, you know, characters that are more human looking. And she explains that it was to make a difference between things that happen more in the physical realm. So this would be something more in the physical realm, and this would be something happening more in the spiritual realm. This is how she decided to design her deck. Also, as we're going through the majors, you'll see that, you know, it's quite colorful. There's something odd, strange, curious But there's some warmth to it. It's kind of this, I don't know how to explain it. It's like this child hug warmth. And then you get into the minors. So here, if I go through the minors like this, you'll have, oh, why are my pages here like this? Oh, okay, yeah. So you'll have the minors. Here, I'll take out the cups. You'll have the minors, which are, she decided to go with monochromatic look. And how Charlotte describes her style of reading cards, she tends to separate majors, then minors, then minors, ace to 10, and then courts. So in designing this, she reflected that. And not only that, in the courts, so you'll see here, like she explains that those are, when she does readings, those are kind of used to add more details to whatever majors were pulled. And then here for the court, there's an extra, oh wait, I would have to go here, sorry, because I did put them away. Oh, there's two actually. She did a court series of 6 as opposed to 4. So if I put them in order, how it was done, so you'll have page, knight, a witch, queen, king, and guardian. The guardian, if I remember correctly, it's kind of like the overarching spirit, deity-ish, like that kind of oversees the whole suit. The witch, I forgot what she does again. Hold on, let's do a little quick pause to see, because I remember it says here. Okay, witches are the alternative to the knights. They often serve as counsels and seek to create rather than to impose. Witches are artists in their own right and choose to be indispensable in ways that do not put them in the spotlight. And then just, you know, moving on to the guardian. So based on urban myths in Hong Kong, the 4 guardians symbolize the stage after the king and the queen, whose only goal is to protect what is important to them. So normally when I don't mind things being changed and renamed. Normally when I see like, oh, there's extra cards, extra this, I'm kind of like, it's not tarot, then it's something else. But, you know, I can very easily circumvent that issue by just taking out witch and guardian. And then, bam, I have myself the good old normal, well, traditional structure, we'll call it that, traditional structure of tarot. And it does not bother me that much. And I haven't, as you can see, they're still in order because I was reading the guidebook maybe earlier this month or late last month. So when I got it, it was shuffled. I kind of reset them back in order and then went through the guidebook and looked at the cards while I was going through the guidebook. And so you'll see here, these are more spirit-like spirit-like entities, beings. And then by the time you get to the courts, and those are more people-y, physical manifestation. Though they still have some sort of like spiritual or divine thing to them. But in any case, it's kind of an interesting look to have the minors be monochromatic and then the court cards and the minors being colorful. I don't know, it's kind of like as if to, like, when I look at them, it's kind of, I don't know, the best way I can explain it, it's, you know, when, you know, if there's music or things going on and then you put your ears you put your hands, over your ears, and then the sound is a bit more muffled. It's not quite clear, or, you know, you kind of tune out whatever sound to focus on one particular thing. This is kind of how I feel with the monochromatic minors. It's like yeah, there's kind of noise and things going on, but everything kind of gets tuned out or muffled for a particular thing that's more in contrast, or that I hear more clearly, if that makes sense. And also the characters there are the reason why they would be in the cabinet, because you know what a curious area. You know, you kind of want to learn. To me, the way my brain works, I should say, it's kind of one of those. I want to know why. I want to learn. I want to see how that works with me. So, I don't know. It feels summery. Maybe I should try to fit it in for next month. When I do my card readings and stuff. But in any case, the L'œil de l'âme by Charlotte Louis. I am rambling a lot. So let's move this a little bit faster. So for the next one, this also I got actually at the same time as the L'œil de l'âme. The same person was giving away. She was offering her decks up, and it was perfect timing because I want to say maybe a couple weeks prior, maybe 2 or so, I had seen this deck. I definitely on YouTube, because a lot of the time when I do things, I have YouTube going on, and the art just kind of had me stop and stare, and it gave me this, why am I so pulled to this? I want to look at this more. So I saw a few more flip throughs, and I was like, I think I want this deck. I don't know why. I think this is really interesting. It is so curious. I am curious. And this is the Shimmering Veil Tarot, created by Celia Conway. This is also a indie deck, though I think it was published by her own publishing company. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that. So this is the guidebook. Once again, I am loving the hollow touch there, and there's even kind of a feel to it. They kind of embossed it. The reason why, first off, I think this is pretty cool because those are all paintings that Celia made, and it's of course to represent, you know, each of those majors. So you have all these different paintings, and I don't remember which card. I don't know if I already passed it. I don't think it was in the beginning. There was one card in particular. I think I might have passed it because I feel like it was the Emperor. No, it wasn't the Emperor. Which card was it? I do know that it started with the Empress here, where I was like, or did I say Empress? High Priestess, where I kind of went, whoa, this is something. It's my whatever corner of my brain is asking for more of this. Oh yes, there. By the time I got there, I was like, oh yes, I think I want this deck. Just this whole Cosmos, Milky Way, planetary thing going on. By that time, I think by the time I saw 2 or 3 flip throughs, that card kind of had me sold on wanting to get this deck. And by, you know, everything coming together, this friend just was like, yeah, I'm, you know, getting rid of decks, and she had this. And when she posted the decks that she was, you know, putting up for sale and whatever else, I saw the deck. I'm like, I am taking this. I didn't even, you know, this caught my eye. I didn't even look at. I started typing because I would have just taken. Normally I take my time, like, oh, maybe I want this one, I want that one. That one I jumped and said, this one, put it aside for me. I am taking it. Listen. If I have to fight somebody, I will find someone. I didn't have to fight anyone, but yeah. And also, for example, here, death. It's so evocative. It's so strange. It's each of these paintings, essentially, that she did. Or like the devil here. it's so strange. It makes you, well, at least for me, it made me feel things like a bit off, well, not off-putting, like scary, dreading. And you got here where it's very dynamic, the waves going on and the lightning. And so, yeah, it's because they had me ask question and because it piqued my curiosity. Look at this sun. It's so pretty. It's like a setting sun maybe, or maybe a rising sun. Because they had me asking question, this is why I would put it in my cabinet of curiosity. And this one here, 21, the world, doesn't, to me, it feels grandiose. Just wow. And then here, this is an extra card. This is the Fool, after having gone through all of these different stages. We'll call them stages, although it's through the major arcana. So this is the Fool with all of their experience, kind of wearing their experience. So here you can see starting off, you know, innocent, not knowing, or things like that. And then when the Fool is done going through all of these experience, I mean, maybe it's a little bit dinged and singed and stuff, but it also gained something precious. So I think that's pretty cool. And then here we have the minors. So the minors, I believe they're just by elements. So you'll have here air, and then, oh, I'm knocking myself, air, and then what is after air? Earth. Then after that you have fire, if I'm not, yes, fire. And then after that you have water. You know, just going through some of these, like, this is so powerful. To me, it's curious because it's strange how interested and how the type of interest I have for it, how I have this wonder for it. In just general, if you were to say, is this an art that you would put up on your walls, I would say no, not really, because, you know, it's not necessarily my art style, or even with decks, it's not necessarily my art style. But I mean, but for some reason, this plus tarot is just so, sorry, I'm like speeding up really quick because I just took a peep at my phone here and I realized it's been 50 minutes. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm just realizing that for some reason, Celia, the way they drew their cards, it speaks a lot to me. And so here, I think there's also two different queens. There's a queen here with a snake, and then if you're iffy about snakes, there's one with like this electric, or yeah, this power type thing going on. So here, let's see a bit of the water. Like, even for the water cards, like this, it's pretty cool. This is fun. And then you have the 8, evocative. It's strange to me. I would normally, like, anything like that, if I would have seen it from someone else, I would consider it strange art. Not in a bad way, but just strange, because you know, in the end, maybe I don't understand it, or it's not my cup of tea, but for some reason this spoke to me, and so therefore, and look at these edges, very nice. But for some reason this one did, and I had to get it. And once again, it's one of those decks where the time will come where I definitely will put the time to go and study it. So this is my other shelf of the moderny art, but I don't know, something whimsical to it. Now finally, the last two, one of them, I think on quite a few creators have shown these two decks. I think I do remember for one there's at least two, and then for the other deck like maybe 3 or 4 or something like that. But we'll go with the obvious, I say obvious, but the choice for Odd Curiosities, Patrick Valenza, Triomphe de la Luna, the illustrated Pips edition. So this one more recently came. It came out this year. Now, why this is curious? For 2 things. A, because, come on now. Like, come on now. I saw that when this deck arrived home and I took out the box, like took out the packaging and I saw the box, I'm like, what is this? What did I get myself into? And not only that, what did I get myself into that I even bought this deck in the first place? This, you know, like, I know there are people that love Deviant Moon, people that love Triomphs or like Patrick Valenza or see Patrick Valenza and the carte de visite. It's not like the creepy thing, the look over your shoulder 2 times and, you know, don't keep your lights on at night. It's not me. I don't like being scary or being scary. But why? And I'm going to flip through this very quickly because you've seen that deck lots of time before. And when I got it, I did also do a flip through of this. But if you saw, you know, my general collection of tarot and what usually attracts my eye, you would say, yeah, that's not you. If you were to try and get a gift for me, this would not be on your radar because you would know I don't like this. See this here, this whole feeling of having this behind me? No, I do not subscribe to this. But I got, and it's just, why did it pull me in? Why? I have to do, I don't know, either a tarot interview or sorry, a deck interview or something like that, so I can understand why did it just grew on me a bit. Like we passed that card, or maybe it was the first one. That's one card where there's a little bug eating at the character. I feel like this is what happened to me in this deck. This deck just kind of gnawed at me and kind of like sit itself on me like a parasite. And then I was like, you know what? I think I kind of like it. And I kind of want it. And mind you, some cards I kind of like this one here, the High Priestess. It's not bad. But then you have the thing like the 3 of Cups with the flaming fart. Like, oh, why? Why? But it's funny, but it's like, I don't understand. So yeah, this is curious for the style, for the creator, and for why did I eat, like, how did we come to the point that I even considered this deck, nevertheless buy it. But it's nothing to knock on the creator or the cards itself. It's just me and my personal style, and it's something that I have to explore. I think there's a theory if it's something that's like, if there's something that kind of makes you about a certain card, you kind of, it's maybe time for shadow work, or I forgot how it goes. It's time to explore. I don't know. The day to explore is not today, but anyways, Triomphe de la Luna. Strange deck. And stranger still, I went for it, and yeah. I guess you could argue maybe it was a bit of FOMO there. Although even there's been other decks that are more my style that I could have had FOMO. Anyways, the last deck also is a Marseille. It's been shown before. It is Tarot de Marseille par Polka. This one I got also from the same person who was, you know, making away with chopping down their collection. This one was strange to me because when on this Discord server I'm in, at first when I had seen that same person who ended up giving away the deck, she was posting, you know, her spread of different questions that she did, like whatever readings that she did, and at first I was like, what is this deck? I mean, why is this deck so rude but dark, funny, sarcastic? And I think I forgot to show the back of the cards for the last couple decks. Sorry, guys. But like, for example, here, I mean, l'amoureux is like choice and things coming together, but this is not a good choice. It's like, it's almost like it's saying like that girl that you like, she's gonna break your heart. Like, just do it. And then you have here the minors that have, you know, this intestine decoration going on. And it's grotesque, it's weird, it's dark humor. And the more that I saw her posting her spreads with these cards, like some of them, I kind of chuckled. And it was kind of one of those, I feel bad for laughing because of the image. And I will say, because I haven't come across the cards yet, if you don't like animals being either skinned in skeleton forms or somehow maltreated, I'll try to give a warning if I'll take a peek, but this deck will not be for you. I'll say that like that, because all of the knights, save for one, the horse is in a poor state. Okay, in one of the knights it's a skeleton horse. In one of the knights there are stakes through the horse's eye. In another horse, the horse is skinned, so you see the muscle. And then the fourth horse is whole and fine, but he's like rearing up and like bucking, and the cavalier is getting a few hooves to the face. Okay, I just have to be sure. But I don't know, there's something about it. It just, I don't know, something about this card, it just gives me this whole, like, I will give you your reading and I will be very sarcastic and dark there. Okay, so this is one of the knights. So I'll just kind of show it like this. And this is the ears of the horse, just to give you an idea. I'll skip that one so you don't have to be subjected to it. Like, I don't know. To me, this deck just smacked of, I will just give it to you the way that it is. I will not sugarcoat it. I will not be nice about it. In fact, I might even make fun of you and your whole family while I tell you what you need to do better. And it's kind of like, I will dress you down and you will learn type of thing. Like, look at the palms. Like, what is this? Or like death. Like, for me, this death is like, I have had enough of your nonsense. Like, chop chop. We are gone. We are doing something new. Like, it's very, I don't know, it's very like pew, in your face. So obviously, and then some of these people are just the type of paint, the type of images. If this was a painting in a haunted house, it would fit, you know, or in a spooky creepy house, it would totally fit. So I'll go through, or this. I mean, this, I don't know, I guess I could think of like Samson. Was it Samson who had his head on a platter at the end? Bible story. But yeah, or like here you have, no, it, like you would think it's the Ace of Swords, but it's not. It's the Eight of Swords, because the entrails, or wait, 9 of Swords, because you have to count the sword and the entrails. So you have to be careful on that one. And here, see, you have the Empress here. But yeah, it's kind of a funny deck. And this was one, like the beginning card of it, and then the end card. I have to say that end card, every time I can't look at it too long because it kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's just weird. I don't know. But yes, that is Tarot Marseille par Polka. Now, I thought that it was no longer in print, but apparent, I don't know, like someone else was saying that it was. You might have to dig a little bit, search maybe through Amazon FR or something like that. But in any case, I think with that being said, these makes the rounds of the decks that would be in my curiosity cabinets, from the straight up weird, why would that even be there, or well, not even why would that be there, they're supposed to be there, it's curiosity. It's more like, why would she, being me, have even this? Like, that is not her style. She's all cutesy. To you know, the funky worlds with curious people, personages to the old school, the forefathers, like I named them, the ones that I guess paved the way for what we have today. I mean, yeah, this is what history saw first come to be before the rest of these more modern decks. So with that, a big thank you to Candy from Candy Soil and Soul for this video response. It ran a little bit long as usual because I blabble on. Let me know if you did a VR for your curio cabinet. Let me know and post it on the comment section, because I want to see I want to see you guys' deck. I want to be curious and amazed and creeped out from a safe distance. And yeah, I want to discover, I want to take a peek at everybody's cabinet. So hopefully you enjoyed my cabinet. It's a little bit humble, yeah, a bit humble, basic, I don't know. If you have any questions or any comments about my cabinet, put it in the comment section down below, doop, doop, along with your VRs, of course. And until next time, thank you so much for spending all of this time with me. And until next time, bye-bye.